Hello out there. We're on the air. Oh, yeah. Are we ever? All right. Let's hold on here. Hold on here, folks. Okay. Good morning. Happy Tuesday, December 17th, 2024. Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Bitcoin Journey. Actionable and logical discussion for Bitcoiners and for future Bitcoiners. So that was some Ed Sheeran to start the day for the Bitcoin Rescue Dog Fund. We had 2,100 sats for that request. And that was from our good friend, one of the OGs of the Bitcoin journey, Anarko. I don't know if he's in the chat. Oh, I do see him. There you go. Anarko, that was his request. It is his 8th. Hold on, I got to get this right. Him and his wife are celebrating their wedding anniversary today, which is tomorrow in Thailand. I don't know. It's confusing. But at the same time, it is perfect. It is perfect. So let me get the right info here. Oh, it doesn't say the wedding anniversary, but today is the wedding anniversary of Anarko and his beautiful wife. So big shout out to them. They're having a lot of fun over in Thailand. It looks like they've been sending some pictures, some videos, and even singing a Bitcoin Amigos song in one of them with a big sombrero on. So happy anniversary, Anarko. And thank you for the sats. Thank you for the donation. And I hope you enjoyed the song. Those 2,100 sats are going to be put to really good use one day. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. I see some people chirping Ed Sheeran. I don't know how I feel about Ed Sheeran. He's got some good tunes. Him as a person, I don't know if I, would love to drink a beer with. But some good tunes. Very talented, of course. And that was their wedding song. So that was their request today, or his request today. So I'm sure he's got a nice bottle of champagne and watch this later, or they're watching it now. Who knows? But either way, happy anniversary. Timber Crasher. Morning, buddy. Cleaner Machine. It's an exciting day, is it? Every day is exciting in this space. My God. My God. Bodie. Good morning, my friend. We're going to keep winning. You're going to say, please stop all the winning. And the winning won't stop. We'll just keep on winning. Oh, it's so true. Ginger, good morning. Raheem, we hit 108? Damn. I'm going to have to throw out a Thunderstruck here live on the air. Because we cannot miss that. That's for sure. That is for damn sure. Did I miss it? This isn't showing on mine as 108. I think we got some false info here. I'm showing all-time high 107,822. Raheem, you tricked me. Tom, good morning. Jason, good morning, my friend. Once again, Anarko. Oh, Jay. That's a nice start to the show. Buck 52,000. Josh, good morning, buddy. Morning, Orange, Ontario checking in. Good morning. Ryan J. Morning, brother. Good to see you in here. Rick, have you smashed the like yet? That's a great question. Let's do a little count. We got 57 people in here, and we got 28 likes. That's not bad. We'll take it. Tommy D, good morning, brother. Ian, keep stacking. What a time to be alive. Amen to that. Ozekin. Bitcoin Satan says, hail Satan, stack sats. All right. Creative fires back. Hail Jesus, stack sats. Bunny, good morning. Please make a poll how many like Ed Sheeran in here. I don't know how to make polls. I'm a YouTube noob. That's what they'd call me. That's what they'd call me at the YouTube conferences, a YouTube noob. Kanga says, I'm never selling regardless. That's the kind of attitude we're looking for right there, folks. I got a good show today. I know we've spent the last month, being pretty excited about what's going on here. We basically doubled in price in the last month. We were stuck at 58K for a long time, and all of a sudden we're at 108K. So we've been pretty excited. We've been talking a lot about the demand side of things. But today we're going to look at a little bit. I was interested in learning this myself. So I scratched my own itch, and I got a little bit of a, not a presentation, but another spreadsheet today. And we're going to talk about who owns Bitcoin today, what that could look like in 25 years from now, and what we need to do. What we need to do, what I need to do, what you need to do, what Kanga needs to do, what Duncan needs to do. So that's what we got on the agenda today. It's going to be a good show. And if you don't believe me, find something else to do. Leith is over in the Zap stream. Leith says, good morning and happy anniversary, Anarcho. Cheers. I wish I could drink a beer with you and your wife, but I'm sure you don't want to spend your anniversary with me anyway, so we'll let you keep this day. Why is Ed Sheeran here? Well, you know now. Retro Beaver, good morning. Matt, good morning as well. Is this a Subaru commercial? Dale, good morning from snowy Flat, Saskatchewan, also known as Saskatchewan, also known as the city that rhymes with fun. Regina. Damn, I forgot to get that package, Dale. I forgot to get that package, but in the meantime, we can do this because I have it here, but I just don't really want to get up and leave. I feel like that's kind of a dipshit move. So it's out there. I'll bring it tomorrow maybe, but we have the Q, we have the multi-sig bundle. We have the Q and 2 Jades and the stamp seed kit. I'll get that loaded up. Just give me a sec. Shout out to the Bitcoin pizza. What does that mean? Is it pizza day today? Oh, you know what? Okay. Anyway, we do have some good news, though. We do have some good news if you're somebody who's looking to up your security game here from Dale. So as you can see here, these are now back in stock. We had some issues over the weekend, and these were showing as sold out. But the good news is that they actually have some of this on hand, and it was just their website that was glitching out on them. So both of these are now back in stock officially. I had several people reach out to me over the weekend and say, hey, I'm trying to order the Jade or I'm trying to order the multi-sig bundle, and it's saying sold out. So we heard, we fixed. I didn't fix. I just got the text saying they're fixed. But the website is now good to go. So once again, this beautiful piece of, this is a bundle, starter kit. So if you're somebody who has, your coins on an exchange, if you have it on a Trezor, a Ledger, a Tangem, Exodus wallet, I'd say if you got over 10 million sats, you should be looking at a hardware device. So with this, you get the Jade. It's fully air gapped. You get some BTC trading cards in the pack just for fun. But the main piece of hardware here is the stamp seed. You want to make sure that your private key is protected against all elements: fire, wind, dogs, rain, water, floods. So you get it on a nice piece of titanium there. You can put, it's got the anvil, it's got the hammer, it's got the guide, it's got the plates. And with the multi-sig, you get this plus a Q, plus another Jade, and plus some more plates. So a very good price, very reasonably priced. This is in Canadian dollars, which is tanking by the day. So these might be going up soon, but for now you can get it for $425 Canadian, less 15% with the 88 sats discount code. So when you go to checkout, just use 88 SATS and you get 15% off of that. And the link to that is right at the top of the show notes here, if you're interested. And if you're not, sorry for wasting your time. Django, morning, brother. Freedom, money will always win. Who was it yesterday? It was Saifedean. He had to quote something like that. Hard money cannot stay niche. And I did a full show on it. I don't even think I talked about the quote. That's kind of how the show's been going lately, though. Kid Rock rules. Big shout out to our good friend Hazel Rocket. I'm sure you've seen him in the chat. I'm sure you've seen him in other chats. He is a legend around these parts, and he sent me a few Kid Rock t-shirts. So I'm in the business of stacking sats. I'm not in the Bitcoin of buying t-shirts. So these were very helpful to me, and I love it. That's right at the bottom here. I can't see it all the time, but it says Born Free. Great shirt. Bodhi says, never saw that vid. I like him now. It was a good video. Somebody said, Matt said it was a Subaru commercial, but I liked it. Speaking of that, there's been, no, it wasn't Subaru, but there was two big companies. One was Apple and one was Volvo, maybe. There's two, they just came out with commercials, new commercials. And we saw what Jaguar did with their new commercial, their new ad campaign, very woke minded. But then you had Apple and you had Volvo. I think it was Volvo. I should get that right. Nah, I don't care. I don't care that much, but they were awesome commercials, truly. And I think it was Adam who sent them to the group. There's a video showing them, but very family oriented, very, I don't know, like, you know, the family, we'll just call it that. Very family oriented. Mom, dad, kids, you know. I know that sounds pretty radical that companies are encouraging that again. But I mean, after what we went through the last couple of years, it is, it's good to see. Matt says, can you remind me again how you get free sats for doing stuff? I've already mentioned that. Congrats to the anniversary to Homeboy. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually going to do a show. I did a show last time about this time last year, because I remember I had to miss a morning because we were on the road traveling for Christmas stuff. And so instead of a live show, I actually posted a video talking about like top 10 ways to earn free sats. I'm sure they've all decreased significantly since there in terms of how much sats you can get. And if you fast forward a year from now, it's going to be even worse. But I think I'm going to do that again. I think I'm going to make another video showing how to earn free sats. But in the meantime, Matt, a couple of easy things you can do is Fountain. Fountain's a really good way to earn free sats every day. You just listen to podcasts and they pay you sats for it. It's actually insane. I really don't understand how they're still doing it, but they are. They won't be forever, but they are today. So you can get like 10, 60, sometimes if it's a multiplier, you can get like a couple hundred sats just for listening to a podcast. So you can download Fountain from the App Store and just start listening, set up a profile. And another one here, you can download an app called Wavelake. And with this Wavelake, I prefer the app. It's a lot easier to navigate, and you can actually earn free sats on Wavelake just by listening to like a couple featured songs every day. I think it's about 100 sats max you can get on Wavelake every day. So pretty cool. So what you'll have to do is you'll go to wavelake.com, or you'll go to the app Wavelake and you'll set up a profile. With that, once you set up your profile, you just click your little profile thing at the top, you click wallet, and then you can fund it. So if you want to zap some songs instead of just earn songs, you can fund it. You can put in like 88 sats. It'll generate a QR code for you, and then you fund it with the Lightning wallet. So that's if you want to support some of the artists on there. Or you can, if you earn sats every day, you can actually withdraw it too. So you don't have to keep it all in Wavelake. If you're listening to songs every day, it's a good way to earn some free sats. And while you're there, of course, go to the catalog, type in Bitcoin, second from the top, the Bitcoin Amigos. We have a full album.
Bitcoin amigos in the house. Well, on the beach, really. On a beach in El Salvador, sitting round the campfire. The Bitcoin amigos party while the price climbs higher. Sats you save today, become freedom tomorrow. Bitcoin is the way, prosperity will follow. Jerry.
Banger. Actually, let me bring that up. Looks like we got a couple zaps here on the tracks. The sats show up. If you zap them, they show up on there. It shows a little comment too if you leave one. I think Bitcoin Amigos is my favorite song on there. I love that one, Sats You Saved Today. Fat Zap Friday, obviously a banger. And the Bangin' Friday shows Western and rock and roll. Those are all, and they're all good tunes. Chris was playing this one on the show the other night. I missed it, The Ballad of Satoshi. So go check those out. And if you're feeling generous, if you want to support the Amigos, you can send a little zap in there. Pretty cool. I mean, I was just talking about just how cool that is that you can do that. You don't need anybody's permission to upload some music on there. You don't need anybody's permission to send somebody some value if you like it. There's no middleman there. There's no record label taking 95% of it. Peer-to-peer. Like, this stuff's so cool. You can just scan a QR code and send some value to somebody else anywhere on earth. It just blows my mind. I know it's kind of become second nature to us here in Bitcoin, but like, it's pretty badass. Mert says, will you broadcast every day until we reach the point we expect? Will we celebrate together in the future? Let's walk together until then. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. I don't have any sort of plans to shut down the channel here. So I don't know where the point we expect is going to be. The point I expect is several hundreds of millions of dollars. But I mean, I don't know if I'll be broadcasting at that point. We'll see. And we're celebrating this whole thing together. We're going through this whole thing together. We are all Bitcoin amigos, Team Bitcoin. Hey, Andrew, look at this, Start9 Server 1 back in stock. That's good news. I've also had a couple people reach out to me about that lately, saying that they're out of stock. So if you're interested in getting one of these things, I gotta unplug it. I need a little stand for this thing, but anyways, I'm in the process of setting this guy up. This is a Start9 Server 1. Going to be running a node. I got less than 2 weeks to get my node fired up. That was my only goal for 2024, is to start running a Bitcoin node. So I got the Start9. I've been kind of playing around with it. And but I mean, the Bitcoin node is going to be just the start of it. That's just going to get my feet wet in it. And we've talked about this a lot on the show, and I'm actually going to do a full show on this in the near future, just talking about what's coming in terms of the AI, in terms of self-sovereignty, in terms of owning our own data. And then if we want to, we can sell it to companies for Bitcoin. So that's coming down the road. And the reason why I got this, obviously, aside from running a Bitcoin node, is that I just want to get really familiar with it. I want to learn how to do it. I want to learn everything that it can do. So when all this stuff is ready to go, I'm not going to be scrambling to catch up. I'm going to be in it already. So Start9 is a great option. I've heard some people like the Umbrel as well. If you're looking for a Start9, you can use the code here. It's 88 sats as well, 88 SATS. And if you're kind of in the market for like devices, exchanges, different products within Bitcoin, just take a look through the show notes there. I have like 10 or 15 different links that can save you some money on this kind of stuff. I mean, it saved people, that link saves about $60 US off of Start9. So definitely worth it. Trudeau's out. No, that's not official, is it? Oh, prediction. Okay. You scared me there. Plevier will come in and Canadian government will be stacking sats by the end. That's interesting theory. I like that, Dale. I like that a lot. We've had two big players in the Canadian government. I wouldn't call them big players, big dipshits. leave in the last couple days, Sean Fraser and Christia Freeland. And I really wish they wouldn't leave because they need to pay for what they've done here to Canada. Is today the day? It'll be interesting to see what happens when Trudeau finally. I don't think he'll ever resign. He just has way too big of a fucking ego. He's the most delusional, corrupt. Let's not get into it. Let's move past that. Okay, what's going on Zapstream? We got Spaceman, we got Phoenix Falconer, we got Plunger. Spaceman zapped 121 sats. Good morning, Jor and Arnie. Thank you, my friend. And don't forget that this is live as well. This is Arnie's YouTube Zap wallet. And so if you send them, oh, it looks like we got some already today. We got 1,000 sats from Fred. Thank you, Fred. We got 1,500 sats. And we got the 121 from Zapstream. So they're all connected now. They're all going to Arnie's wallet. So if you want to send some sats in, it'll show up here with a big green flash. You can send it to this QR code right here. And if you can't read that, I know it's kind of hard depending on what screen you're watching on. You can also just type in the URL there, adoptedson98@walletofsatoshi.com. Spaceman says, Jory, you should be validating transactions by now. I know. I'm working on it. Give me a break. I've been busy. I've been busy doing other things other than validating transactions. But I'm going to have it done before the end of the year. That's a promise. That's a guaranteed promise. Hey, look at this. Suplug. Good morning. I'm watching you from El Salvador. Cheers to you. Cheers to you, my friend. Cheers to El Salvador. Morning, buddy from Florida. Good morning, Rob. Good to see you, my friend. Ian says, have you heard of the Passport Prime? Looks good. I saw they came out yesterday. I haven't looked too far into it. I'm a fan of the Passport, though. I have one of those in our setup here. The Passport is a pretty good device. I'm not going to lie. Pretty good device. I would say if you're looking for a really solid hardware device, you're looking at the Cold Card, you're looking at the Blockstream Jade, which we had up here earlier, or you're looking at the Passport. But the Prime, I heard that it's like a game changer in some ways. So I'm going to have to investigate that myself. Mr. Yolfang, good morning. My financial friend, will you be buying the new Passport Prime? I'm not buying any more devices for a while. I got enough devices here. I got enough friggin' devices. Uh-oh. Craig says, anyone else have an echo? Can we confirm that, please, in the chat? Am I echoey? Is my sound off? Am I using the wrong mic, maybe? No, it's showing up as my... Sure. Please just let me know in the chats how the audio is here. It's showing good on my end here. Okay. Thanks, guys. Ooh, look at that. Big Daddy Longlegs got my UTXO consolidation done today. Didn't know I had that much. Oh, that's a good feeling. Isn't that a good feeling? Let's get to the mempool right now on that note. Speaking of consolidation. Oh, you didn't do it at the best time, I wouldn't say. Big Daddy Longlegs. I would have waited. Unless you did it back here. Looks like it was about 6, 7, 8 sats for a while. So I'm guessing you didn't do 5 minutes ago. All right. How's the mempool looking today? We are currently sitting at block height 875.161. Via BTC was the last winner of that block 11 minutes ago. And the fees right now are about 12 sats per VByte, which I would say is not consolidation range. I wouldn't consolidate for anything less than 5 or 6 sats personally. But everybody's different. And depending on how many UTXOs you have, that's a whole nother conversation. But the difficulty adjustment right on track. We've had 6 straight upwards difficulty adjustments, which is very strong indicator for Bitcoin. All right, so that's the mempool. That is the mempool. See Bitcoin. All right, this is a good question here. Separate X. Should I buy at 108K or wait for a trace back so it can be a little bit cheaper? Why are we so blurry here? Hello? Are we blurry or am I blurry? I don't know. We're blurry. The audio sucks. Pets' heads are falling off. Separate X says, should I buy at 108K or wait for a little bit of a trace back? So I've had, and I'm not trying to brag here because we went a couple years with very small amount of discussions, meetings, consultations with people. But in the last month, I've been very busy. And the question that everybody's asking is like, we're at 100K. I think I'm going to wait a couple months for a trace back, or I'm going to wait for the bear market to buy more. And I just don't think that people understand where we are. Like, forget about the price. Forget what 108 is. Forget what 100 is. Forget what 150 is. I would say if you can buy Bitcoin, any point under $1 million, you should not care what the price is. Even 10 million or 100 million. Legitimately, anytime you can trade fake money for real money, you have to take that every time. Do not hold cash right now. It doesn't make any sense. 4 years ago today, after the last halving, we went from 18,000 to 40,000 in less than a month at this time. So I really think that over the next month or two, we're going to go to like, say, 150, 200, maybe 250. And we might pull back a bit. Of course, it always goes up and it always comes down. But I don't think we're ever going to be back below 100K after this year. So do not wait. Do not wait for a bear market. Do not wait for a trace back. Get every sat that you can get at this price right now. I know it seems high because we're at an all-time high right now, but it's nowhere compared to where we're going over these next 12 or 24 months. My one more question. My thesis is that Bitcoin is a $100 trillion asset running it to 100%. I did a podcast last week, and then I posted it on the channel talking about where we are right now in terms of the market cap. Like, I think gold has a $12 trillion, maybe more than that, market cap. And Bitcoin is 100 to 1,000 times more valuable than gold. I know most of the world hasn't figured that out yet, but it's the reality of things. And so even if we went 1-to-1 with gold, that puts Bitcoin at $900,000 per Bitcoin. So if you're thinking that 108 is too expensive, you have a very long ways to go before we're even equal to gold. Hey, Juan, West Palm Beach is happy with Bitcoin and Trump. Have a great day. First time here. Welcome. Welcome. You're living better than me in Florida. It is snowing here right now. Okay, let me get this banner off. Let me get this banner off of here. Well, looks like we got a zap. 88 sats. Somebody sent in 88 sats. Was that from Zapstream? Yes. Ahsoka. Thank you for the sats, my friend. All right, so we have, who else we got over there? Bodhi. We got Ahsoka. And we got quite a few people on the Zapstream today. It's good to see. And it's good to see that our Zapstream is working again. We had some tough days in the old Zapstream lately. All right, should we give away a little bit of Bitcoin? Oh. Should we give away some sats? I think so. Thrago, good morning. Hey, Kyle, good morning as well. Sound is good. Video is good. Life is good. Except my computer is running hot right now, so expect me to cut out any moment now. All right, let's bring this up. Let's get the banner up. Let's give a shout out to Bitcoin Well. Oh, what happened here? And let's give away some Bitcoins. Or some sats, not Bitcoins. All right. Somebody just sent in 420, I see, and it came from the Zap stream. Bodie, cheers to Zap stream working again. Thanks for that. And thank you for the sats, Bodie. Somebody's going to win some sats of their own here. We ready? Get your lightning wallets out, folks. Get your lightning wallets out. Get the speed wallet out. And I don't know if our good friend Chris is watching right now, but good luck, Chris. I chatted with Chris yesterday, and he said, I got my speed wallet downloaded. I got everything ready to go. And then you never did a giveaway yesterday for Bitcoin Well. We had a wild show yesterday. It was a short one. I forgot I had a meeting at 9 o'clock, so we had to cut her short. But Chris, good luck. And if you're using the speed wallet today, you got pretty good odds. Ready? Set. Go. This is rigged. These are rigged officially. I'm calling it. We're calling it, Adam. This is rigged. Hey, somebody sent in 121 sats as well. Rock and roll. Was that rock roll? Or just saying rock and roll? I don't know. Anyways, regardless, thank you. 121 sats to Arnie's wallet. All right. Hopefully those are claimed. If not, too bad. Look at this. I got the dark mode on. I don't know if we've had many since I put the dark mode on. But look at the Bitcoin wallet at the top. It's got a little Santa hat on. So those sats were courtesy of the Bitcoin Well, the best by far Bitcoin platform in North America. I'm very excited about Bitcoin Well. Very excited. And they are a friend of the show. They are a sponsor of the show. They give sats to the community. They don't pay me anything, but they give sats to the community. But I love them. I tell everybody that I know, everybody who asks me about which exchange to use, it's always Bitcoin Well, because you can set up a recurring buy, which is my favorite thing to do. You just set up like 10, 15, 20, 50 bucks a week. You connect your Lightning address in there. You don't have to worry about your UTXOs. Once your Lightning wallet gets up to a certain balance, let's say 200,000 sats, you move it to your cold storage. You don't have to worry about UTXOs or anything like that. Recurring buy, you don't have to think about it. It just comes out automatically from your bank account every week or every month. And the best way to buy Bitcoin, in my opinion. And you can swap too. This is my favorite feature of Bitcoin Well. If you got some Bitcoin on chain and you want Lightning, you can swap it for free. If you got some Lightning, if you've been stacking DCAing and you wanted to move it to on chain, it's very simple. Very, very simple. I had a friend do this the other day. I thought I was going to have to walk him through this. He figured it out himself. Zero fees. It takes a little while to get to Bitcoin, 20 hours right now, but it doesn't matter. It's going to the cold storage. It's going to be there for a long time. And of course, pay my bills feature here. This is, they've been talking about this quite a bit on Strike lately, the big news in the US, but Bitcoin Well has been offering this for a while now. So this just takes you one step closer to your Bitcoin standard, where you can pay bills with Bitcoin. You can just leave the fiat system. So that is, oh, that's a nice zap. That was a fatty. 880 sats somebody just sent in. Oh, and another one here. 100 sats. And 1,000 sats from Duchess to Arnie and the rescue dogs from Lucky the Dog and Duchess. Thank you. That is awesome. The sats are flowing today. I've had a couple tough days in the sats department lately, but good to see we're flowing again. Oh, it's Ahsoka from Zapstream. Ahsoka says it's rigged, but I got him. Bodhi says, I can't figure out how far away from the screen to hold the phone to scan the QR. It might not be you, Bodhi. It might be the wallet that you're using. Oh, and it was Plunger that zapped 100 sats. Thank you, Plunger. Appreciate that, my friend. Bitcoin Well doesn't swap into Lightning in the US. Yes, there are some features that are only for Canadians, but it's still a really solid platform for America as well, for the Americans here. So right here, that's how you go to get yourself an account there. That's how you start buying the Bitcoin with the best Bitcoin platform that exists. bitcoinwell.com/join. You get 5 free tosses into the well for using that. Oh, look at this. Eden says, have you guys seen the videos of people using Bitcoin miners to heat their homes and greenhouses? Farming in particular could look very different in a few years. Wow, that's very, very insightful post there, Eden, or comment. You should see some of the stuff that within the Living in the Future community, we also have the Project Potential, which is like a Bitcoin investment fund where we're going to be looking at investing in businesses, industries, anything that can outperform Bitcoin pretty much, which I know will be very rare, but we're going to be looking for that. Oh, did we hit 108? Somebody just sent in 888 sats and said another all-time high. Oh, yeah, we did too. 108. Where's Chris? He's going to be firing up his pump stream right away here. He might be live right now. Pump stream. All right, I got to post this quickly to keep up with tradition. I can't let nostr down. 108K Bitcoin. Wow. I mean, if you're a Bitcoiner and this stuff doesn't get you excited, I don't know what to tell you. I know it excites people more than it probably should as well, but you got to cheer this stuff on. We've been through a pretty wild ride the last 4 or 5 years, and people beyond that even more so. So shout out to everybody who's been holding on to Bitcoin. Shout out to the people who have been here for less than a year. Shout out to the people who have been here for 1 cycle. Big shout out to the people who have been here for 2 cycles. I can't even imagine the kind of stones that takes to get through that. And it's pretty exciting. We are right about Bitcoin. Don't let anybody else tell you differently. We are right about Bitcoin. But where I was going with that, with the Living in the Future, with the Project Potential, is that there's been a lot of conversation in the last couple of days about this exact thing. We have a couple people who are in the HVAC industry, the plumbing industry, and they've been pretty hot on this. And actually it was Bodie, I think yesterday, who reached out to one of the big companies who's doing this right now to get some info. So if you're interested in this at all, I think it's probably worth joining Living in the Future, joining that group, Project Potential, where nobody sent in any sats. We haven't taken any investments yet. We're just kind of still in the planning phase of it. We're scheming. And we probably won't start taking Bitcoin until, we get about 80 members in there, I think. That's kind of the goal. I think there's already over 40 people in that chat, though. Oh, Craig says, how is MicroStrategy not up? All the short and leverage positions. It sounds to me like Michael Saylor has been selling a lot of shares. I think he's trying to get that out of the way right now. He has a few different tools, right? His main two would be selling shares, buying Bitcoin. And his other one is taking on debt and buying Bitcoin, convertible debt. And I think based on everything that's happening here with the QQQ, with Wall Street basically shutting down for the next couple of weeks, it just makes a lot of sense for him to sell the Bitcoin right now and then use the debt after. So I agree with Bodie here. Plunger, sorry. Don't worry about them. They will shoot like a slingshot now that they're in the larger index. I agree with that. Like if you're looking day to day at MicroStrategy, you're probably going to get very frustrated. But if you look 6 months ahead at MicroStrategy, like just get as much as you can right now. If you have money in that traditional system, get as much MicroStrategy as you can right now, because I agree it is going to absolutely explode in the not so distant future. But day to day, who knows? But if you look out a little bit further, like it is ridiculous what's going to happen with MicroStrategy. Mary says, do you have any tips for non-KYC Bitcoin? My only tip would be don't obsess about it. Get some, do what you can. If you're in Canada and you want some non-KYC Bitcoin, shoot me an email. I'm done talking about it on YouTube on the public show here. It just doesn't make any sense for me to do that. So shoot me an email. I'm more than happy to help you with a few things that you can do. If you're in Canada, And I mean, even if you're in a different country, I might have a few different resources for you. So everything you need, website, email, and pub, everything is in the show notes. All right, Sando. Ordered a Jade to transfer my Bitcoin from Ledger. Good call. Would you recommend a firmware update on the Jade before creating the seed phrase and then never upgrade again, or how do you handle it? Everybody's a little bit different. I think the general consensus within Bitcoin is that you should be keeping up with the firmware. The one thing I would say to that, and this applies to any updates, you should never have like automatic updates on your phone. That's how people get burned, right? If something malicious happened, if there was a malicious attack on an app, on a device, on a wallet, and it got pushed out automatically to you, if you have your automatic updates on, that could get pushed out to you before anybody knows that it's malicious, right? So never have your automatic updates on, never rush into updating your firmware. Always wait a little bit, because if you wait a little bit, you're going to see if there's anything wrong with the new update before you do it yourself. So everybody's different. I think that the general consensus is to update, but give it some time. Yeah, exactly. This is a great point from Marius, replying to Separate X. Said, I asked the same at 70K, ended up buying, which is the best decision looking back. Yeah, there's going to be people who are like, oh, should I wait until it goes below 100 or back to 90 or 80? And then all of a sudden, before you blink, you're going to be at 160 and you got way less sats than you would have had if you just would have understood where we are here and what's coming in the next couple months. Hey, look at this. Rishi. Hey, Jor. Great chatting with you the other day. Looking forward to speaking again soon. Keep up the great work. God bless Bitcoin and Bitcoiners everywhere. Cheers, my friend. That was a really good chat. I can't wait to talk to Rishi again. That was pretty cool. I just love, in the last couple of weeks, I've talked to so many great, interesting people from Canada, from the US, from Portugal, from England, from Ireland, everywhere. And it's just so refreshing to be able to talk to people who are on the same kind of frequency as you, same mission, same understanding, same path. It's awesome. So it was a pleasure. And I'm glad everybody here came across my video one day. I'll just say that. All right, we got a lot of comments here. And yesterday I got through about 20% of them. All right. All right. My Path to Fire is in the chat as well this morning. Good to see you, My Path to Fire. Semler, $80. Wow. Good for Semler. If you've been watching the show for a while, you got Semler at about $15 if you listened. And now it's at 80. I do hold some Semler, but I'm considering moving into MicroStrategy. I just think that MicroStrategy is going to be the one. It's like Bitcoin. That's kind of how I see MicroStrategy versus Semler versus Marathon versus Block. All these other companies who are starting to buy Bitcoin, Metaplanet, Bitcoin Well. That was so crazy to me. Bitcoin Well had this big announcement, and it's good. Like I was looking, when you see what we're going to talk about today, it's good. But at the same time, Bitcoin Well bought $1 million worth of Bitcoin to add to their treasury. 7 Bitcoin. That's how much it got them here in Canada. $1 million, 7 Bitcoin. But back to what I was saying there, I really think that MicroStrategy is the Bitcoin of this cycle. I look at Semler, I look at the other companies, Marathon, Riot, Hut 8. I look at those other companies who are doing the same kind of thing or will be doing the same thing, kind of like altcoins. Because you know, they'll probably succeed. They'll probably go up, but MicroStrategy is going to be the one that really shoots off here because of the indexes, because of the leverage that they have now. And I think it's going to go much higher than the semblers and the other ones, just like Bitcoin versus the altcoins. So my plan is to keep the majority or all of it in MicroStrategy for these next 12 months, and then start looking to diversify a little bit if I need to, because I think MicroStrategy over the next 12 months, not day to day, is going to be by far the best performer. It's the most well-known. They have the most leverage. They have the access to the biggest network. And what was the last point there that I had? I don't know. I said it earlier, but anyways, that's how I see it. I'm sure it'll come to me here in 30 seconds, but MicroStrategy is going to be the Bitcoin of this cycle, in my opinion. Oh, the indexes, the biggest one, of course. That's why it's going to have so much automatic, passive, long-term buys automatically through these index funds. QQQ is the first one, and I'm sure there's going to be more in the future. And the last thing I would say on MicroStrategy today is that even if you can get like one, don't just count it out because you can only get like 2 or 3 shares. I started with like 2 or 3 shares in MicroStrategy back when they were $1,500 or $1,200, whatever it was. And then all of a sudden after a stock split, that turned into 40, right? So that's just an example of like, don't be afraid to just buy 1, 2, or 3, because over these next 12 months, I'm thinking if the price of Bitcoin doubles, the price of MicroStrategy is probably going to double as well. And then they're going to be looking to do another stock split. So even if you have 1 or 2, that could be 20 shares in a year or 2 from now. Hey, Nick, good morning. Cheers to you. Cheers to you. Hey, Noah's in the chat. I didn't know who that was. The thing wasn't showing up. Noah's in the chat. Good morning. Good to see you, Noah. All right, so the Zap stream is running. We're doing a little bit longer show today. Arnie's wallet is running. We're live. If you want to send a Zap to our guy, Arnie, that's where you can do it, right there. And we'll see it blink red, flash red. Oh, what the heck did I do here? I was in an emergency City of Brandon website. Yikes. Mashing buttons on my phone. Oops. All right, let's take a little wee break here. Let's watch a video. This is my favorite piece of news that came out yesterday. It wasn't really news, but favorite thing to share. So I'll get this loaded up. I'll try to catch up on some comments here, and then we will be good to go. I have Ed Sheeran stuck in my head now. Thanks a lot, Anarcho. And no, I'm not going to sing it. I'm not going to be singing today. I got called out last time I was singing. Actually, I didn't get called out. I got a 5,000 sat zap from Dom in the Australia. All right, listen to this speech. This is from French representative to the European Parliament, Sarah Nafo, makes a passionate speech against CBDCs and in favor of a strategic Bitcoin reserve. So the reason I want to show this video is because I think that this is just a small indication of what's coming here within Bitcoin. We've seen this for the last little while, but now that you have the US looking into this, that opens the door for everybody. All of a sudden, everybody can say, well, the US is doing it, so why the hell aren't we? What are we waiting for? We don't want to get left behind here. We need a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And so this is Sarah Nafo. 2-minute clip. Absolutely beautiful speech here.
3 years ago, across the Atlantic, the president of El Salvador decided to invest in Bitcoins for his country. At the time, he was ridiculed by the political class and the IMF. He now shows a 100% return, with hundreds of millions of dollars available for his people, for security, and for the sovereignty of his country. The whole world is now getting ready to take advantage of this revolution in decentralized finance. Donald Trump is going to create a strategic reserve of Bitcoin for the United States. Jerome Powell, the chairman of the US Federal Reserve, is now talking about digital gold. Bitcoin is skyrocketing. And what about the European Union? What is the European Union doing? It's squandering our money on unbelievable waste. It continues to accumulate tragically inflationary deficits. It insists on regulating, taxing, and holding back. It's time to change the paradigm. It's time to protect our people from inflation and the poor economic choices of our states. It's time to say no to the totalitarian temptations of the European Central Bank, which wants to impose a fully controlled digital euro. We don't want this dystopian world where a European bureaucrat could tomorrow ban us from certain transactions and even kick us out of the banking system with a click, just for something we said on social media or for an opinion that doesn't sit well. It's time to bet on freedom. It's time for our states to invest in Bitcoin to build national strategic reserves. It's time to develop the mining industry. We, the French, hold the cards with our nuclear advantage. Let's stop taxing cryptocurrency holders more and more. It's their intelligence, their risks, their sleepless nights that have built their savings. Let's allow them to protect themselves from the crazy spiral you've created. Public deficit that drives money creation, which creates inflation, leading to chaos. Let's dare to be free. Let's stop being afraid of our own shadow. Let's stay true to the ambition of our civilization. Thank you.
I mean, things have been happening pretty fast here in Bitcoin lately. It's honestly impossible to keep up with all the good news in Bitcoin. And so I think this is going to be a perfect segment for what we're about to talk about next here in terms of countries buying Bitcoin, what Bitcoin could look like in 25 years. But let's just pause there because this is very important. It's wild to me that this kind of stuff is happening. It's honestly surprising to me that this is happening this fast. I knew this would happen eventually in terms of the game theory involved with Bitcoin, and Trump, love him or hate him, has been the absolute catalyst to this whole thing. If you look at what has happened in the last couple of weeks, speeches like this are coming out. We have Russia, Putin. He said that we can't stop Bitcoin. What are we supposed to do with it? We had China, who's been unbanned Bitcoin, and the citizens of China are now allowed to buy Bitcoin, buy and hold Bitcoin. Corporations still can't in China, but individuals can. We've had several, probably more than 10 public companies in the last month come out and say that they're holding Bitcoin on their treasury. Like it took a while, and I know that people think that the suddenly moment is going to happen like overnight, but we're in the suddenly moment right now. It's just taking, when we look back in 20 years from now, it's going to be this time in history where everything changed. And we are in the middle of that right now. I know it doesn't feel like it. Everybody thinks the suddenly they're going to go to sleep one night and the suddenly is going to be the next day, but we are in the middle of it right now. And it's very exciting. And what I'm about to talk about next year, we're going to look at the countries, we're going to look at the corporations, we're going to look at a few different things. And I want to do it right now. And then I'll get to some of the questions afterwards. So if you want to stick around here, we're going to be probably here for at least another half hour, I would say. But I want to talk about this kind of stuff first in terms of make them pay for your Bitcoin. So I got a little spreadsheet here, and I want to give you a couple of resources that I found very helpful when I was, again, what I was doing here. Hold on, let me get my things together here a little bit before I start yapping too much. All right, everything's in order. Everything's in order. Craig says, who's the woman speaking? Anyone know? Yeah, it was Sarah Nafo. Here, I'll bring it up here quickly. She's a French representative to the European Parliament, Sarah Nafo. I don't know if you can see that or not. Oh, wow. Big fan of Sarah Nafo. Or Canafo. I don't know. All right. What else do we have here? Craig says Putin is mining Bitcoin in Siberia using nuclear. I heard yesterday. I mean, it would not surprise me one bit. And that's kind of going to be what we're talking about here next, of where we are and what it could look like in 25 years from now. So let me find everything I need here. Make sure we have things intact. Oh, I'm missing the page. Shit, where is that? Oh, right here. Okay, we're good. All right, so what we're going to talk about today here, what I'm going to show you is who owns the Bitcoin right now. And again, this is something that I've been thinking about a lot. And so I basically just scratched my own itch here. I wanted to find this information out myself. And so I did a little bit of digging yesterday and today and put together a little summary of who owns the Bitcoin right now and the percentages and what that could look like in 20 years from now. And the importance of just understanding how much influence we have here with this whole thing. I know it doesn't seem like it, but we do. And I'm going to get to why I say that. So let's start out. I got all this information from two sources here, two main sources. And the first one was from River. They have a really, really good summary here of who owns the most Bitcoin in 2024. So I highly encourage everybody to check out. There's a video here, but there's also just a full page of information. So this is where I got all the information from. So you can see it in graphic form, which is helpful to some. And then you can see all the rest of it too. So we're gonna come back to this. But the other one I used was bitcointreasuries.net. So this shows who owns what. This is a very, very good resource. I would bookmark this. This is actually from NVK, I believe, from CoinKite. He's put this together. So this is very up to date. I think it's continuously updated. But that's my two resources from what I'm talking about here, where they came from. So let's break this down a little bit here. Who owns what in Bitcoin currently? So we can see Coinbase has about 2.2 million Bitcoin. These are all just rounded. Some of them are exact, but most of them are just rounded for simplicity. So Coinbase has 2.2 million Bitcoin, which includes some of MicroStrategy's Bitcoin, and I think the majority of BlackRock's Bitcoin. This will go down over time as retail shows up, as MicroStrategy starts moving it to either self-custody or like a BNY Mellon for their custodian. This will go down. You can see Satoshi's wallet here, 968,000 Bitcoin. I thought it was 1.1 million for some reason, but I trust River more than my own brain. So 968,000 Bitcoin belongs to Satoshi, which I believe will never move. I believe that those keys have been burned, but either way, they're there. Binance owns 636,000. And then you can see, we can scroll down here. I'm not going to go through all these, but Grayscale, the US, Robinhood, a couple of big unknown wallets. One unknown wallet owns 78,000 Bitcoin. Another unknown wallet owns 73,000 Bitcoin. And I don't know if Jerry's listening now or if he's going to be listening to later, but he asked how many Bitcoin Mr. 100 owns, and it is 75,000. And then you got a few other public companies here like Marathon, like Riot, like Tesla. Coinbase owns 9,000 themselves. Those 2.2 million are for, obviously, their customers own them, right? But they own 9,000 themselves. And then CleanSpark, Hut 8, Block, and SpaceX. I didn't know SpaceX owned this much Bitcoin. That's kind of cool. That was interesting to me. I did not know that SpaceX had this much Bitcoin. And I think I missed one too. Where was, oh no, Tesla has 10,000. So that's like the holders of them. That's governments, that's public companies, that's private companies, unknown wallets. That's kind of the breakdown of that. So this is what it looks like right now. So this is before strategic Bitcoin reserve. This is where everything stands right now. So we got public companies who hold 576,000 Bitcoin for a total of 2.7%. We have the ETFs who own 1.2 million Bitcoin, or their customers do, I guess, but the ETFs, there's that much Bitcoin within the ETFs, 6.6%. DeFi, where's BlackRock on here? How much do they own? Oh, they're not even on there. I must have missed them. I think they're close to who? Who are they close to? I think they have less than 10,000 Bitcoin, BlackRock themselves. But anyways, the DeFi, so that's like the wrapped Bitcoin. That's Bitcoin on layer 2s like Lightning and Liquid. They own 148,000 Bitcoin for less than 1%. Private companies, they own 408,000 Bitcoin for just under 2%. And governments own 513,000 Bitcoin for a total of 2.4%. So that's where it stands today. So the big boys essentially own about 14% of the Bitcoin. Pretty good, honestly, pretty good. And then we have individuals. Look at this. We have 14.6 million Bitcoin are owned by individuals for a total of 70%, 69. Nice. 69.95%. And we got lost coins estimated. I should add that in there because this is definitely not an exact amount of 1.5 million, worth 7% of the coins are lost. Estimated. I think it's more than that. But either way, it would be between these. So lost coins and individuals make up for a total of 77% of Bitcoin. And then finally, you have the Bitcoin that's yet to be mined, 1.2 million, 5% of it left over the next 100 years. So that's what it looks like today. If we fast forward here, if you think about this, if you just thought about this before we look at the next part, how do you think that this is going to shift here in the next little while? Do you think that these holdings will go down? And if you answered no to that, where are they going to come from? Individuals, lost coins, or to be mined? I would say that the majority will come from the ones that are yet to be mined. I would say that probably 90% of the coins to be mined will go to these boys, the big boys, and the rest will come from the individuals. So this is kind of my estimate of what things could look like, how this will shift over the next 25 years here. I estimated that public companies will increase by about 500,000 Bitcoin. Saylor's going to be sinking 42 billion into that, so he's included in this. Plus all of the other companies like Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Google, they still need to buy Bitcoin. So I'm allocating 500,000 Bitcoin to them. I think that could be high, that could be low, but I think that that's just my best bet. The ETFs, I gave them an extra 700,000 because they're well ahead of the public companies already, and I expected that to continue here. So I gave them a little bit more. I gave them 700 more thousand Bitcoin. DeFi, I'm going to just leave this the same. It's kind of irrelevant right now anyways, based on where we are. This will probably go up too as more and more people join the network, as more and more people are using the Lightning Network. This will probably go up too. And then we got private companies. Based on what they hold today compared to these other ones, I gave them an extra 200,000 Bitcoin. And governments, based on the US Strategic Reserve is going to take up half of this. So that's one country taking up half of this. I don't know if they'll ever get to 1 million. That's going to be their goal. But, a company or a country who can print money, a country who has unlimited resources, I think that they might do it. It might be difficult. It might shoot the price of Bitcoin up higher than we could even imagine, but I think they'll do it. So I gave governments and countries another 2 million coins here. Because you have to remember that the US is going to buy half of that. That's what they say. And then you still have China. You still have Russia. You still have India. You still have Japan. We still need Canada to get off of zero. You have France. You have Germany. Germany sold a lot of their coins already. But the Kingdom of Bhutan, like a country with 1 million people, is like the third highest holder right now. So I gave them 2 million extra coins here. They're going to have to fight to get those, but that's kind of a conservative guess, I think. So right now the big boys own 14%. I think over these next 25 years, it'll be closer to 30%. And this is kind of a crazy stat here. So I looked out 25 years to, hold on, I'm going to take this off here because I don't want to make you dizzy. But I'm going to show you, oh shit. I'm going to show you where this came from here. Let me zoom out a little bit. Oh, what happened here? So you saw there, we went from 1.2 million coins left to be mined to 5,000. All right. So this is where we are today. We're in 2028 halving at 450 a day. So over these next 25 years here or so, there's going to be, no, it's the wrong one. 1.3 million. Because, well, I mean, we're already kind of in this one already. So some of these coins have already been mined. But 1.3 million from now until 2056, 1.3 million Bitcoin will be mined. Leaving from 2060 to 2136, that leaves us with 5,132 Bitcoin to be mined. So let me just scroll down to the bottom here now. There we go. I should have just done that at the start. So that's what it looks like. At this point in 25 years from now, there's only going to be 5,000 coins that are yet to be mined. And that the majority of those are going to flow into there. But where's the rest of it going to come from? Individuals. I think that this will probably, I should have increased this as well, because the amount of lost coins is definitely not going to get smaller. It's definitely going to get higher. As more and more people who are here today holding significant amount of Bitcoin or buying significant amount of Bitcoin, there's going to be some lost coins in that for sure. Whether by human error, whether by, something happens, something goes wrong, this number will go up. I didn't factor that in. But all of these coins that increase here are going to have to come from individuals. And so let me go to this river one, because I think that this is an important thing to talk about here. Because if you look at the Bitcoin distribution here, this is what it looks like as of November 2024. And you can see that the balances of 0 to, let's go to 0 to 10 million sats. That's about, how much percent of Bitcoin is? That's 1%. So from 0 to 10 million sats, that's only 1.39% of Bitcoin. So that's the people who, their friends, their family told them to buy $500 worth of Bitcoin or 1,000 worth of Bitcoin. That's them. That's 1.39%. They don't have any sort of real conviction over Bitcoin. And probably all of that is either going to go to us or the big boys. So I'm not worried about them. I'm not worried about the people who don't have conviction over Bitcoin. They're going to sell when the price goes up. They're pretty much irrelevant at this point. And it's kind of shitty to say that. It sucks to say that, but it's the truth. But then you look at here, 10 million sats to 10 Bitcoin. That makes up 16% of Bitcoin. In that range right there. And I would say that there's probably going to be some longer term hodlers in there, but those are the people who believe in Bitcoin. Those are the people who have conviction around Bitcoin. So that's 17% or 16% of Bitcoin right now belong to people who have between 10 million sats and 10 Bitcoin. So what does that mean for us? That means that these coins are going to have to come from somewhere in order for these public companies, for MicroStrategy to get more, for BlackRock to get more, for the US government to get more. That's all going to have to flow from these individuals, because the majority of these are never going down, right? That's one thing we have to keep in mind here. This is a completely different dynamic from last halving cycle. These numbers are not going to go down. They're only going to go up. And these coins are going to sit here for a very long time. So the only place that these can come from are the miners and individuals. And the miners can only give them, they need, based on this analysis here, they need 16% more Bitcoin, and the miners can only give them 4% of that. Sorry, 5% of that. So what's the moral here? Number one, the longer you hold on to your Bitcoin, because we've just come to the realization that these companies, these governments, public and private companies, ETFs, the only way they're going to get Bitcoin now pretty much is from us. And so the longer you wait, the longer you hold on to this Bitcoin, the more they're going to pay for it, because they need it. It's not a matter of if they're going to want it. They're going to need this Bitcoin. So the longer you hold on to this, the more they're going to pay for it. Moral number two, never, ever, ever sell your Bitcoin. Lend against it. Do not, in your long-term plans, in your Bitcoin strategy, do not ever plan to sell your Bitcoin, at least 90% of it. If we can all hold on to 90 to 95% of our Bitcoin, use the other, buy a few things with it, send some on Nostr, send some on Zapstream, but 90 to 95% of it, hold on to it forever. And just be patient, because I know there's not a whole lot of options in terms of lending against your Bitcoin today, but fast forward a couple of years from now, and there's going to be more than we need probably. And moral number three, I was going to title it this today, the show, but I went for the conservative naming, make them pay for your Bitcoin. But you can see the bold here, make these fuckers pay. We have to take this stuff seriously. We have to understand where we are here, and we have to understand the dynamic of the situation right now, because we're sitting pretty good there. We're sitting pretty damn good right now with individuals and lost coins at 75% of total Bitcoin held. And we know that addresses or Bitcoin holders with less than 10 million sats only make up 1% of that. So it's you, it's me. This is who's going to decide the dynamic over these next 100 years here. It's going to be us. And we have to be aware of that, because these governments know that, these corporations know that. They know that there's only so many Bitcoin out there, and that has to come from somewhere. And so what they're going to do is they're going to absolutely run up the price of Bitcoin, and everybody's going to be tempted to sell. But we cannot sell them the Bitcoin. We cannot. And the longer you wait, the longer you hold on to it, or if you keep it forever, they're just going to have to pay more and more for it. So the longer you wait, the more value, the more rich you become, the more wealthy you become. It's pretty simple. It's not easy, but it's very simple. So I thought that was very interesting. I really wanted to see that myself. I want to look at the whole thing, what the dynamic is right now and what it could look like. So what I would suggest, like for us, I mean, actionable items, just understand where we are, understand how much influence you hold, understand how important this is to keep Bitcoin in the hands of us versus public companies, ETFs, governments. That's the goal here. And again, the longer we wait, the more it's going to be worth. So just be aware of that. Be aware of that. And, you know, I'm going to clip this probably, and consider sharing this with any friends and family who are interested in Bitcoin. I think this will really give them a good understanding of just how scarce Bitcoin is and how in demand Bitcoin is going to be, and therefore how high the price of Bitcoin is going to be in a couple of years from now. So that was the main thing today. Oh, Craig says, Jory, you missed Bitfinex 403,000 plus some of the 200K that the US has stole. I'm pretty sure I had Bitfinex on there. Let me double check. I got Bitfinex as having 207,000 coins on here. Do they have more than that? Did I miss some, or what happened there? I have them as owning 207,000 Bitcoin. I skipped a few of these just talking about it, but Grayscale there, Bitfinex, OKX, Kraken, China, Fidelity, Block.one, Upbit, Tether, Gemini, Marathon, Mt. Gox is in there still too. So yeah, she's there. All right. Pretty interesting, eh? Pretty interesting. And if you learned anything, if that excited you, if that was interesting to you, it didn't take me a whole lot of time to do that, but you know, if you feel like sending some value back, you can zap. You can zap for sure, or at least click the like button. Make sure you're subscribing to this channel, because nobody's paying me to do this. So I'm bringing this education to the people, for the people. I want people to hold on to their Bitcoin as long as they possibly can. And it's important to talk about this stuff just to understand the impact that we have. I know it doesn't feel like it today, but it's pretty big. So consider sending in some value back here, whether you're watching now or later. And you know, that's a call out to the people who watch the show after, because I know there's about half the people who watch the show not live, but later. And so make sure you're pulling your weight around here. Look at that. Bodhi just sent in 1,000 sats. Hugs for you, Johar. We need it. We need it. Plunger says the video you clip of this will be amazing to show new people or people we want to help understand this game better. I agree. Yeah, so send it out. Share it on your socials. I mean, if you don't have money to spend on a membership or supporting the channel or to zap in, I understand. I definitely understand. But the least you could do is just, you know, click the like button, make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Make sure you share. I don't expect you to share like 2-hour shows like we're doing today, but share clips from the shows. There's a lot of good information I think that people can use. So whether you like Nostr, whether you like Twitter or Facebook, whatever it is, just consider sharing some of these clips, and maybe, you know, maybe your direct network will change a little bit in terms of their wealth, because we don't want to be rich by ourselves. Hey, Noah, zapped 1,000 sats, says value for value. We appreciate you, Joar. Thank you, Noah. I appreciate you just as much, honestly. And Plunger zapped 1,000 sats as well. There we go. I guess sometimes you just got to ask. Thank you, Plunger. Appreciate that, my friend. All right. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to take the next 10 minutes or so, and we're going to go through a few comments here. That's what we like to do. All right. We had another 1,000 sats come in as well. This one was from the code. So thank you. There's no message attached to that, but thank you for the sats. And again, I'm calling out everybody who watches this after the recorded version of it. Make sure you're pulling your weight around here. Send some sats into the wallet. Everybody's always zapping when we're live here, but if you're a watcher of the later shows, consider anyways. I'm not obviously going to make you do it, but consider. All right. Let's catch up on some chats here. Looks like we got a lot to get through. This comment was from just under an hour ago. Oh, well, I mean, it's that kind of stuff's important. So it's fun to talk back and forth, but we also got to talk about some important stuff. So Maverick says, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Jory, you should film setting up your Start 9 and perhaps even turn it into a tutorial. I definitely will. And we got some very exciting things coming in 2025. I have something special I'm going to be announcing later this week, maybe at the end of the show. We'll see if there's any relevant comments about it. But I am. And the reason I'm going to do it is because there's literally no information out there online right now. And I'm sure there's some hidden behind like Patreons and stuff like that, which I understand because it takes a lot of work to do this stuff. And it doesn't really make sense just to put it out there for free for people anymore, honestly. So if I do, and I will definitely film the whole process, I have been filming some already of this because there's nothing out there that exists. Not on YouTube, not on Google, nowhere. So I'm kind of in the process, and thank God for people in the chat here and people in the community who are going to be, who have and will be helping me through it. But I'm going to film it and make it a good resource for people. Hey, Meech Dog. What's up, good dog? Speaking of dogs, where the heck's Arnie? Arnie, people are zapping you. You're not even showing up, man. Arnie got, wow, what happened? Look at that fat drop. We're down to 106.4 now. What happened? Who knows? Who knows? All right. Hair's still kind of wet. It's some wet hair. Thunderstruck was played. Heck yeah. All right, look at this. Oh, this was from Rishi. Okay, or Rishi. 2 comments. Love that. Canadian Hodl. Great name. Great name. Duchess, good morning. One of our Bitcoin journeymen and big supporter of the channel here. Good morning, Duchess. Hope you have a great day as well. Appreciate that. Should I receive my... Charlie says you cannot swap to Lightning and Bitcoin well if you are from the US. Yep, not yet. I'm sure it's coming. Separated. Should I receive my payment in Bitcoin? It's about 3K. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean, my friend. I think that a lot of people are starting to feel this, and I can tell by my inbox filling up right now. Jake and Bake says the more Bitty goes up, the more I get nervous that I'm still very uneducated on self-custody. All right, so I'll say a couple things on that, Jake. I don't know if you're still around here because this comment was from 45 minutes ago. But I will say a couple things on that. Number one, that this is absolutely going to be a problem. And we just looked at all the lost coins that are already out there. I think there's going to be a lot more lost coins, which is very unfortunate. But it's the reality of things here. And so what I would say is just like you're either going to have to invest some time or money to try to do that. And this is for the people who bought a lot of Bitcoin and their knowledge is not caught up to the amount of holdings that they have. Their knowledge has not caught up to how much Bitcoin they hold. So you have to either spend a lot of time or you have to pay somebody to help you with it. And so obviously paying somebody is the easier route, but a lot of people would rather buy Bitcoin. I totally get it. But if you are somebody who does need help with your security, with your private key management, with your devices, with multi-sig, with multi-jurisdictional, with running a node, if you need help with any of that, just shoot me an email. We have some very, very knowledgeable and intelligent people within our Bitcoin Citadel group now. And so regardless of what you're looking for, we can find somebody who can help you with that. And objectively much cheaper, much more reasonably priced than competitors out there. So that's the first part. But the second part I would say is that if you are somebody who's like wants to buy a bunch of Bitcoin, but doesn't want to go through the process of storing it yourself and learning it all, if you just want to buy it now before, you know, the big explosion that happens here in 2025, then just reach out to me because I have a couple different options in terms of custodial options. And this is something that, you know, when people first get into Bitcoin, they see all these different memes, all these different videos of like, if you don't hold your Bitcoin yourself, you don't actually own it. And then they buy a bunch, they go very fast into Bitcoin, they try to protect it, secure it. It's not an easy thing to do for the average person or for anybody, but it's not just like straightforward stuff. So I think that the majority of those lost coins that we talked about came from people messing up. And so it's okay if you need to, if you need a custodian to hold your Bitcoin for a couple months while you catch up to your holdings in terms of your knowledge, that's okay. I'm sure if you looked at a comparison of how many people lost Bitcoin by trying to take self-custody too quick versus how many people who lost Bitcoin by holding it on a custodian. Now, I'm not talking about Coinbase, but I'm talking about there are really good, trustworthy, well-known people who have been here for a while that will hold your Bitcoin for you. So if that's you, if you want to buy a bunch of Bitcoin, but you're not ready to hold it yet yourself and you don't want to leave it on Coinbase, just reach out to me and just say that. I want to buy Bitcoin, but I don't want to store it yet. So what we'll do is we'll get you the Bitcoin. They'll hold it for you. And in the meantime, while we work through these next couple months, we'll get everything in place for you to have that. When the Bitcoin is sent back to you, you're going to have a good understanding of your setup and you're not going to lose your Bitcoin. You're not going to be part of that, the lost coin community. All right, sats are flowing. We got Parks 9, 420 sats, says, we'll be joining Living the Future before end of the year. So I have a lot of things to talk about in these next 10 minutes. Unfortunately, we're not going to get to all the comments. But I do have a couple different things here that I'm working on thinking through right now. And we've recently merged the group chats into one, and there's like 80 people in there in Signal right now. And so I'm not 100% sure on this, but I'm considering closing off the group, Living in the Future, at 100 members. I'm considering it. I'm not 100% yet. I'm trying to think through the best way to do this. But not only people who are here December 31st or before, they're going to be included in the 8 Satoshis venture, which you're going to pay a little bit for a year, and then you're going to start earning Bitcoin after that. And we're going to be growing the network. We're going to be growing our education, our resources, the library, and doing it together instead of just me. So I would say if you're somebody who's been sitting on the fence, whether the group fills up or you miss that deadline, make sure that you join in the next 2 weeks. And so thank you for that, Parks 9, 420 sats. All right. Let's see what we got here. I'm just going to buzz through these comments. I got to go in about 5 minutes here. All right. Who is here? A bunch of new faces here. Look at that. This is the way to go. Owen, I loaded up on MSTR last week in a tax-free savings account. Giving it a year, then take profit, buy more Bitcoin. It's a play. Morning, Scotty. Says, I know you've commented on issues with Ledger. Are you still confident in Cold Card as a good air gap? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of pushback on the Ledger stuff, but I don't really care. I mean, if people really have to understand what they're holding here, you're holding the best asset that has ever existed in human history, right? And your Ledger will probably be fine. But isn't it worth taking like the extra precaution? Isn't it worth spending a little bit more? Isn't it worth learning a little bit more to make sure that it's like 99.99999% protected versus 99%? I think it is. And so again, you're probably okay with Ledger. Why wouldn't you take it as far as you can in terms of security? Why wouldn't you? I just don't understand. And air gapped, whether that's a Jade, Cold Card, or a Passport, those are superior to plugging into USB. JH. Hey, Joy, hope everything's going well. What do you think about that Cuck Trudeau possibly resigning? I don't think it's going to happen myself, but I don't want to get fired up here, so we're not going to even think about what it is. So I just got a good news text. Fuck yeah. Love that. Kelvin, good morning. Wow, why? Wow. Oh, we're talking about the lady here. Okay, sorry, everybody. I'm not going to get through all these, I don't think. But that's okay. Fully said, wish I had hair. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't complain. Hey, Warro, good morning, my friend. Jason smash buying more MicroStrategy. Nice work. All right, what else? BitBilly. Good morning. And this is a great comment here from Bodhi. I fully agree with this. And so actually I'll talk about it now because I have a couple minutes here and I don't think we're going to be able to get through all the comments here. So I want to talk about this for a sec here. Bodhi says, if you want to supercharge your knowledge of Bitcoin, join the Living in the Future, the cheapest MBA in Bitcoin you'll find. Yes. And what I'm actually going to be doing here, and this is something I've been working on for a little while now. You should see my list here that I have. It's pretty impressive. But the one thing I'm going to be offering in 2025, and I've announced it, this is the first announcement of this, is I'm going to be doing 365 days of Bitcoin. 365 days of Bitcoin. And so what that's going to look like is every day I'm going to share a video. It's going to be membership. It's going to be similar to Living in the Future, but it's going to be a membership. It won't be very much in comparison to the value that you're going to get back from this. But I'm going to post one video every day. It's going to be between 2 minutes and probably 10 minutes. And we're going to walk through basically day one in Bitcoin to like having your own device and everything in between. A whole bunch of different exchanges, a whole bunch of different devices, a whole bunch of different resources. Every day, one video is going to be posted in there between 2 and 10 minutes. And it's going to be for two types of people here. Number one, it's going to be for beginners, somebody who's brand new to Bitcoin. I guarantee if you went through 365 days, and I don't expect you to watch them every day, but they're going to be posted every day. So you could bash them. You could watch like an hour worth every week, but you're going to go from zero to very, very knowledgeable in Bitcoin. Because I don't believe that Bitcoin is something that you can learn in a 2-hour video. I don't think it can be learned in a week or two. I think it takes a very long time. And so this is going to be the perfect way to do this. So it's going to be great for beginners, obviously, but it's also going to be good for people who are somewhat new to Bitcoin and just want to make sure that there's no holes in their security and no holes in their knowledge. So every single day I'm going to post a video in there, and once a week I'm going to do a private Q&A. Because I'm starting to realize here where we are in terms of the community in here and how things are growing, that I can't get to all the comments. I can't answer everybody's questions. So that's going to be coming here in 2025. It's going to start January 1st and it's going to run to December 31st. So keep an eye out for that. Once I launch it, once I open things up, I'll have more information, but I'm pretty excited about it. I'm pretty excited about it. All right, what else do we have here? Oh, we got some more zaps. Look at this. Letha sent in 1,000 sats. Thank you, Letha. And this is a hilarious comment from Parks9. So he's up 420 sats about 10 minutes ago. Said we'll be joining Living in the Future before end of the year. And then he zapped 420 sats a minute ago and said, I said, fuck it and join just now. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I do want to talk about this too. I do want to talk about this. Oh man, I wish I could stay longer. I wish I could stay longer here. There are some great comments in here right now. But I want to talk about this because we just looked at the lost keys there. And Carl, this is a really good point, says lots of keys die with their owners in real life. They never spontaneously regenerate or hop to a new person either. That is so true. And it's like we see an estimated 1.5 million. Think about how many Bitcoiners hold Bitcoin right now. Let's say 50 million sats, a Bitcoin, 2 Bitcoin, 5 Bitcoin. And they're just kind of still really well, or still very secretive with it. Maybe they haven't even told their wife about like how to do it all. And all of a sudden they get hit by a bus tomorrow. That Bitcoin's gone. Like there's no lawyer that's going to come in and clean up the estate. There's no company who's going to send information on how to access that Bitcoin. That Bitcoin's just gone. And I would guess that around 98% of Bitcoiners do not have anything in place for their inheritance stuff. Maybe higher. So this is something that everybody needs to be thinking about right now. And we do have a brand new inheritance protocol from Bitcoin Citadel that will help you ensure that this never happens to you, that you're never part of the lost Bitcoin. So unfortunately, this is kind of all we have today. I really wish that I could stick around longer, but I have a meeting in 2 minutes here. And so I'm going to have to hit the road here. Kid Rock is probably a Bitcoiner for sure. I think this is what I've heard. This is just hearsay, but I think Kid Rock's going to be one of the first musicians and artists that's going to join Bitcoin, or join nostr. I mean, sorry, join nostr. Charlie says, will you invest in XRP when it flips Bitcoins? Yeah, for sure. For sure. Hey, Nick. This has been one of our favorite trolls in the Bitcoin community. Hey, Nick, thanks for a couple things. Thanks for spending so much of your precious time here on Earth trying to piss me off or whatever you're trying to do here. Thank you. And also thanks for all your support. Every time you comment on one of my videos, it gets in front of more people. So thank you for that. I very much appreciate it. I don't think you know it, but you're actually making quite a big difference for the community here. So keep doing what you're doing, my friend. I appreciate it. Cleaning Machine says 365 videos, sweet. I'm a new Bitcoiner and I'm terrified of scammers. Yeah, this is it's a real thing. And this whole course, 365 days, think about how many different things are going to be covered within that. From like buying to storing to key management to different scenarios, everything. One a day, very easy to digest and very important based on what's coming here. So again, it's not ready yet. I just kind of wanted to throw it out there for people, but hey, big shout out to everybody today. We got 6,400 sats just from Zapstream today and a whole bunch more from this wallet. So I have less than 1 minute. I appreciate you all very much. I appreciate the support. And I even appreciate the haters. Nick, man, spending so much time. I think he's obsessed with me. He's obsessed with me. I'm here for it. Hey, AD, I missed you. Okay. Well, have yourselves an amazing Tuesday. Thank you once again for being here. And save and trust Satoshi, Sats. Let's end with that. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you right back here first thing tomorrow morning. And Arnie's going to show up here. We'll give him a sec. Oh, he's hiding. He didn't hear say bye-bye. All right. Oh, he got it. He didn't hear it. He sat back down. Okay. Bye-bye. No, he's not coming. We tricked him.